Hello everybody, welcome back to the Route 22 channel. I just want to give you all a big round of applause. We made it through 2020. I don't know guys, I've heard it was a rough year for some of you. I can't imagine why. Oh my, I forgot to take my freaking mask off. Alright, let's just cut this. Let's cut. Can we roll it again? Okay, but in all seriousness, how are we doing? How are you guys feeling? Where are you at? Are you excited for 2021? Do you have any plans? Have you made any goals or New Year's resolutions? You see what I did there? I worked my way up to the title of this video. That's what we'll be talking about today, is goals and New Year's resolutions and how to achieve those New Year's resolutions, because I struggle. Like this video right here, this is what we'll be going over today. These were my goals for 2020, and it didn't go so well. You're probably wondering why you'd want me to teach you how to make goals when I struggle myself to achieve my New Year's resolutions. And the answer is because I can tell you exactly what not to do. I'll just be kind of going through what my goals were for last year and why I didn't achieve them. And that sounds so horrible. There are definitely a few of them that I did. But I'm going to go over tips and tricks to help you guys to achieve your goals this year, or your New Year's resolution, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, let's just get into the video. Wow. I don't know. Also, do you guys like my background? I just pulled up this snowy scene. There's cool music playing in the back, but I muted it. Anyway, do you guys think it's cool? Is it bad? Does it look bad? Let me know. Weird mood. Weird mood. But hey, I'm more Taco Bell. Route 22 video wouldn't exist without Taco Bell. Please sponsor me. I think we're supposed to get into the video. There's supposed to be an intro going up sometime right now. Okay, so I'll post the video on the screen right here, but I skipped forward 3 minutes and 40 seconds after my intro because basically, I'll link the video if you want to go watch it, but you don't need to go watch it. I shouldn't say that. If you want to go watch it, you can go watch it. But my intro, the first 3 minutes and 40 seconds are me talking about how hard 2019 was. Also, in this video, I look you can tell I have gone through it. I look rough. And it actually makes me really sad to kind of see myself like that, because I remember myself at that time, and it's I didn't really have a job. I was working seasonal at a clothing store, but I didn't really have any hours, and so it's I didn't really have anything to do. My husband was working crazy hours, and it was just a really rough time for us in general. I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, but we're just gonna be real here. That's what the first 3 minutes and 40 seconds was me just talking about that. So let's just get into my first goal. And so I'm gonna watch it on my phone and I'll post it on the screen. You get the idea. If you see a video like this, you know what's happening. But anyway. So my first goal for 2020 is to gain 1,000 followers on YouTube. I talked about this at the beginning of the video about how I started my channel last year and the process. Okay, here's number one. The number one issue with people making goals. So it's great that I wanted to gain that many followers on YouTube, but I don't have any control over the followers I gain on YouTube. Does that make sense? It's not an obtainable goal. Yes, it could happen and it would be awesome if it did, but there's nothing that I can do to make that happen per se. Like, if the goal were to, for example, this year my goal is to try and post a video, and then we'll get into this, my podcast, at least once a month. So that way I have content coming out every single month. That's an obtainable goal. Like, you're able to do that or work towards that. There's not really a lot that I can do to gain followers. Yeah, like I can ask people to subscribe to my channel, or I can, that's basically it. I can ask people to subscribe to my channel. If they don't subscribe, they don't subscribe. And I think that's been my issue with YouTube. And 2020 was like a huge eye-opener in general for that reason, where it was like, I can't force people to watch my content. I can just create my content. Does that make sense? Like, that sounds horrible, and I love you guys and I appreciate you if you do support this channel. You're awesome. But you get the general idea. I don't want to show the whole video because it's like, there's 10 goals, which also 10 things is kind of a lot, especially when they're bigger goals. And so that's another tip. When making goals, make them obtainable. Don't make 10 huge goals that are unrealistic and that you most likely will not achieve in the year. I'm being really rough on myself. Like, I shouldn't be, but it's just hard time, man. Anyway, let's move on to my second goal. Along with, this is kind of with my YouTube channel. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about this because it's something that I'm working on with some of my friends and my husband, and we're just kind of spitballing ideas right now. So I don't want to give too much away because I'm excited about this, and you'll know when it comes along. I'll make sure to tell you guys about this. It is another goal that I have this year, and I hope to accomplish it, and we'll see how things... So I kind of have an idea of what I was talking about here, but I also don't know what I was talking about here. But I did do something that was kind of crazy this year. I changed the name of my channel. It used to be Sasquatch Studios, and I changed it to Route 22 or Route 22, depending on how you say it. There's a whole video, I'll link in the description too, but there's a whole video that talks about kind of why I did that. I don't know, it's kind of more of a comedy skit of why I did, but the basic reasoning behind me changing my channel name and also making it a brand, because I also have a goal to kind of expand Route 22. I have a podcast. I released one so far, maybe two, depending on when this video comes out. I don't know. But I'm looking to kind of expand it more to a brand or a business type of idea. So that was kind of big, for me anyway. For everyone else, it's just hey, cool, you changed the name of your channel. But for me, it was a big deal. It just feels like more me, Sasquatch Studios. I created Sasquatch Studios with the idea of my husband's a huge supporter of me, and he's been known as Squatch his whole entire life. So my whole idea or reasoning behind Sasquatch Studios was to kind of honor him, but it just wasn't me. Squatch is him, and Squatch is his brand, and so I needed to create my own. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyway, and then, along with that, I created a podcast. If you want to go check that out, I hopefully by this time will have it up on Spotify. Fingers crossed. If not, that will be part of my goals this year. Anyway, we will move on to goal number 3 here. Alright, now my third goal for 2020, it's to basically be healthy. I'm not looking to necessarily lose weight. I just want to feel healthy. So I want to develop a routine of workouts and eating healthy, because I think that that's the biggest part, creating that routine and sticking to that routine. Once you get that, I agree with this one. I think that it's important to, when creating goals, to make a goal that is healthy and pertains to you. I don't do well with saying I need to be this certain weight, or I can only do this, or I can only do that, if that makes sense. So it's a whole journey in of itself. And so making a New Year's resolution and saying that, like, oh, like, I have to lose 20 pounds or 40 pounds by the end of this year is, like, I feel is very harsh on yourself. And I think what is important is creating those routines and sticking to them. And I think my issue with that, like, during the summer I started developing a routine when we were in that thing called quarantine. But I started kind of getting a routine going and establishing constant workout or continuous workouts. And I looked pretty good. Like, I was getting my abs in, and then fall hit, and I like pumpkin spice, and it all came back all the way. Just kidding. So, and I think it's just like developing healthy relationships with working out and with food is really, really important. So, when creating goals that have to do with health and losing weight, think about that when making the goal. I mean, does that make sense? In my mind, it does. Yeah, anyway. All right, moving on to goal number 4. Okay, so my next goal. This one is kind of out there. I don't know if it will necessarily happen this year, but I think the process of getting to this should be in the works in 2020. I would really love to buy my first house. Hoping in 2020 that I can either work to save up money to purchase a house, or my husband and I. Okay, so we don't have our own house. I am very grateful for the apartment that we live in and that we're renting, though. It was a blessing to find this place, and I'm really grateful for it. We went through some hardships in 2020, as you can imagine, and so money was a little tight, and so I don't think we necessarily saved up money for a house. But, I mean, I think it's still in the works, you know? Like, it's something that I want to do. I don't know if it's necessarily going to happen this year, if it's going to happen next year. I don't know. Like, I don't necessarily have a plan for it, and I'm okay with that because I'm content. All right, we're moving on to, I think it's goal number 5. That's where we're at. I didn't, like, count these down very well in this video. I don't know where I'm at. Oh gosh, and I can't push play. My next goal for the year is I would love to get a puppy. I have always wanted a puppy, or even like just a pet in general. That's like my... This one makes me so sad because, so in my apartment, we're not allowed to have pets. And I still really want a dog or a pet. I actually really want a snake or a lizard. But sadly, that did not happen this year. I realized once moving into this apartment that I wouldn't be able to get a dog, you know, or a pet of any kind. And so I had to be content with that. And I think being content with the idea that things change, and so altering your goals to accommodate for that, I think is important. And dealing with change and being okay with it is important as well. I'm sad about it, but I'm grateful for what I do have. Okay, we're moving on to goal number 6. You can see my ring light in that TV. That looks horrible. I apologize, guys. In my mind, this would be.
And number 6, this kind of goes with my first goal of YouTube in general, or my first goal of 1,000 followers. It's to get a new laptop because I am currently editing on a laptop that is like years and years old.
Okay, this one makes me really, really, really happy. I talk about my husband a lot on this channel and he is here a lot, but I am so grateful for him. If it weren't for him, I would not have the PC that I do. I now have a PC that I can edit on, that I can work with, and my husband is the sweetest person ever. He bought me a new mic, which I'm using right now, and he is just amazing. Like, I have a PC, I'm able to edit on it, and I'm able to make videos and content that I'm happy with and I'm proud of. So I'm super grateful for him. Huge shout out to my amazing husband, Sam, or Squatch, Plucky Squatch. He's wonderful. Guys, get yourself someone who supports you because he's great. I love him a lot. Anyway. That goal is achieved. I did it. But hey, that's the lesson we learn about this, is that it's okay to accept help and be okay with having people help you achieve goals. Because I think that oftentimes it is hard and it is difficult to do things. Well, I mean, it is. It's difficult to do things on your own. And it's okay to ask for help sometimes. Like, yes, there's definitely a journey that you need to go through by yourself, but there are things that in life that people can help you out with, and you can be okay with that. This next one makes me laugh.
So I want to be able to read a new book every month. And that's kind of my goal. So 12 books throughout the year. This is just something that like I've wanted to do more, but it's something that sometimes is put on the back burner. And I used to read all the time, and I feel like I'm not as like quick as I used to be. When I was reading more, I felt like I had a bigger vocabulary.
I didn't do that like at all. I don't have them with me right now, but I got some glasses. It makes me look smarter. I mean, they're blue light glasses, so it's like, does it really count? Like, after I made that video, I don't even remember myself trying to push for that, or, you know, go to a library or buy a book off of the Amazon Kindle store. Like, I don't remember even trying. So if you make a goal, I think it's important to write out how you're going to achieve that goal, and also look back at the goal. Number 8 of 10.
My next goal, number 8 of 10, is to journal daily. I used to be pretty good at this, where I was journaling pretty much every day of my life, and
I do feel it's important to write your thoughts down and to journal. But I also think that there's other ways to, what am I trying to say? Basically, there's other ways to show your progression, or show like, not progression, but to show like what you're doing. You're not journaling if you're not writing things down. Like, write the important stuff down, but take pictures. You know, you go somewhere cool, take pictures. I do this quite often where I vlog. You guys probably know that I have a lot of vlogs on my channel, and it's something that I enjoy, and I'm able to look back and see what I've done. We're on 9.
Okay, and number 9 of 10, we're almost there, is I would like to travel somewhere new this year. I love traveling, and any opportunity that I can get to go somewhere new,
As you guys know, traveling was a little bit difficult this year, but I think what's kind of cool is I became really familiar with where I was living. I found a lot of little small businesses that are working so hard to make something if there's a small business in your area or small businesses in your area that you want to support, then talk to people about them, tell people about it, try and go and buy products from them or go and get food from them or, just really anything to promote their business because they are really struggling right now. Since traveling is a little difficult right now, go and explore the area you live in. Support some small businesses, see if there's some fun places around you, and I don't know, just get familiar with your area. I think that that's a good way for someone who enjoys traveling or enjoys experiencing new things. I think that that's a way that we can turn this crazy time into a positive time, and hopefully we will be able to travel again. Moving on to number 10.
And we're moving on to our last one. I kind of just put this one in there. It's just to learn a new talent, learn something new. I actually really want to learn more about graphic design. All right, guys.
So, I didn't really learn graphic design. I mean, I design my own stuff sometimes. Well, I do. I design my own logos and things, but I didn't learn or take any classes. I did learn how to put together a podcast. That was something that I did last year that I was really, really proud of, and it was something new. I've never I've never recorded a podcast before, so it definitely was a learning curve, and I had to learn all the logistics of putting together a podcast. So those were my goals for 2020. I think that there were maybe 3 that I actually could say that I achieved in 2020. 2020 was obviously a very odd year, and I talked about dealing with those changes and making the best of them. And I talk about this a little bit in my podcast, which will come out later this month, but 2020 was not necessarily a year of success for me. And that sounds really horrible to say it that way, but because there definitely were things that I did achieve and accomplish in 2020, but 2020 was a year of growth. And by that I mean I grew as a person, and I was able to get rid of some of the negative things in my life. Like I said, definitely grew as a person, and I feel more confident in who I am, and I'm excited about the content that I'm going to put out. And I said going because I'm going to do it. I really am. All right, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and being here. And I hope you guys get some ideas of how to achieve your goals. And if you want to have a fun podcast that is also pertaining to making goals, and so if you want to check that out, it'll be out later this month. Also, like I said, I'm looking to get my podcast on Spotify, so look for me on Spotify. I will link it below if they're on Spotify. If not, I will let you guys know in some way. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really, really helps me out. And I look forward to hearing from you guys throughout the year and putting together some good content. And I've got a lot of fun ideas that I'm excited to show you guys. So hitting that subscribe button will just ensure that you will see those videos and that they will show up. I think you also need to ring that bell, because if you don't, then YouTube won't notify you. Until next time, guys, bye.